Hello everyone, good morning. Guys are able to see my screen and able to hear, right? Guys?
Oh,
Yes, right? Yeah. So Soumya, I'm starting now.
Yeah, okay, sir. You can start.
Yeah. Yeah. So is anyone joining or okay, I'm starting now. Yep, guys, very good morning. So so this workshop is based on Linux and AWS. Why AWS Linux are important for the developers? So why AWS and Linux are important for the developers? I will discuss. So why Linux we need to learn and why AWS we need to learn for the developer? What are the importance? So right in the real time, and we'll discuss about the deployments also. How real time deployments are going on. So for example, if you are a developer, so once you develop the code, right? So our real time applications, web applications are host. So whatever the applications we are see it in the internet, right? Either WhatsApp, Facebook, or whatever it may be. So that applications will be how real time deployments are going on. So today we'll discuss about that how we can install the Apache, Tomcat, and the Nginx on the server, and how frequently the developers develop the code and deploy it in the development environment, and they are using the development environment. They will take care of the development environment. We'll discuss, guys. So most servers run on Linux, and the AWS is leading cloud platform, and Linux AWS go on hand in hand and helps in development and automation and better job opportunities. Okay, yeah. So myself, so going to that topics, myself, guys, myself, I'm Harry Charuku. I'm a DevOps consultant and solution architect with 12 plus years of industry experience as a real-time and a trainer. So I have done few certifications, guys. I am a ITL V3 certified engineer. I am a Red Hat certified system administrator, and I am a Red Hat certified Linux engineer. And I am AWS certified solution architect associative and certified Kubernetes administrator, guys. Okay. So before going to that topics, so what is this session? So this is a workshop for Linux and AWS cloud platform. AWS cloud platform. And what we will discuss, what developers do with Linux and AWS. What developers so do with Linux and AWS. So day to day work of so day-to-day working developers, how they are connected to AWS or any cloud, guys. AWS, GCP or Azure, Oracle, right? How they are connected to the AWS, GCP, and how they are deploying their applications. So I will show you that how to deploy Apache, Tomcat, and Nginx deployment. Okay. So whatever the developers develop the code and deploy it in their own environment, development environment, guys. So that developer people having the access to the AWS and the Linux, right? Yeah. So this session is duration 5 hours, guys. So timings 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. IST. Okay. So yeah, who is the trainer? So the trainer is Hari having 12 plus years of EXP. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So what we will discuss, what developers do with the Linux and AWS. What developers are do with Linux and AWS. Why it is important to learn the developers. Because of nowadays all the real-time applications are deployed under the cloud only. So before the cloud, they are using the data centers. Okay, so they are deploying their environments in the data center. That time, operation engineers will do the all the activities. But the nowadays, the cloud. So all the applications, the real-time applications, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever the application, the LinkedIn and all the SaaS applications, every application is migrated from, they are migrating from the data center to cloud. And how we can connect to the cloud and how we can work with the Linux servers, how we can deploy our code to the development environment. So these are the works daily doing the developers. And so today we'll discuss about what is the importance of the Linux and AWS for the developers. Okay. So in day-to-day work, in simple terms, connect to the AWS. Every developer connect to the AWS, use a secure method, log into the cloud servers and do your work. Use Linux commands because of, so if you want to deploy the application, right? Whatever the application you developed, something like the application developer, right? That application will be deployed to the Linux machine only. So who will do that one? The development environment will be taken care by the development environment will be taken care by the developers only. Okay, so you need to deploy your application in our development environment and test it and then move it to the integration or a certification environment. Then we can deploy into the certificate in integration environment. The QA people will validate the application, then we can deploy it into the production environment. Okay, so production environment will be deployed by the DevOps engineer or a operation engineer. So who will validate, who will work on the development and QA environments? Mostly will get the access to the development environment for the developers. Okay, so deploying the applications. Developer upload a new version of apps so users can see the updates. So for example, WhatsApp. WhatsApp initially starts from chat and contacts. Okay, so then they added the feature called as a status, group calling, group voice, video calling, voice calling, right? Every feature they are deploying. So once the deployed, developer upload the new version of the apps, the development app, so users can see the updates. Understanding the system. So knowing how AWS and Linux works help with the fix and improve the performance. Okay. Yeah, so Linux and AWS cloud for developers. So let's start learning together. Something like why learn this? What is the AWS? What is the Linux? What you will do? So Linux and AWS are used to real job to run apps and websites. What is that, guys? The Linux and AWS are used to real jobs to run apps and websites. Learning this helps to get the job ready. What is that? So where we can deploy the, yeah, so where we can deploy the, this is the AWS. So this is the AWS cloud platform. This is the dashboard of the AWS. So in this AWS, right, so instances. So instances is nothing but a servers. Instances is nothing but a server. So right. So what is the role of the developers, guys? Developers develop that code. So right. So the developers will develop the code and push it to the repository. So which repository? It may be a GitHub or GitHub. It may be a GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket. So you guys are know about the source code repository. Source code repository also know, right? That GitHub repository. In that GitHub repository, developers develop that code, right? Develop that code and push it to the GitHub repository. For example, this is the code. So what is the code? The code is something like fb.java. So this code, the developer, so we'll build this code to fb.jar or something like fb.jar. Jar. This is the a jar file. So the developers develop that code and build it to the jar file, right? So who is developing this code? This will be developed by the developers and push it to the repository. Push it to the repository. Once they push it to the repository, so what will happen, guys? What will happen? So what will happen? So for example, this is the developers, right? So developers having the access to the AWS cloud. Developers having access to the AWS cloud, this cloud. Okay, in this cloud, we have a Linux instance. What is that? So we have a Linux instance, VM is deployed. So I already told, right? The developers, so the developers, this is the instance or a VM, a virtual machine or a server, guys. So in this server, so where we can deploy this code, the developers part is only for develop the code and build the jar. So right, so we have a how many environments we have. So you are thinking like that, you are developing the code and directly push it to the directly push it to the production environment. But in the real time environments, so we have a dev environment, dev QA, and prod environment. So prod is nothing but a live, and whatever the applications you are seeing it in the browser, right, in the internet. So those applications are so and real live applications. These are the, for example, Facebook.com. So what this is, guys? So this is a Facebook.com. This Facebook.com application, this code is deployed under this server. Okay. So before that, QA team and the development team. So these are the developers. These are the developers. Developers will develop this code. Developers will develop the code and deploy it on the development environment. Who will take care of the development environment? The developers will take care of the development environment. So you need to deploy this code into this server. So what we need, guys, what this server is, this is the Linux server, whatever it may be. It may be a like it may be a CentOS, or it may be a Red Hat, or it may be a Oracle Linux, or it may be a Ubuntu Linux. This is the Linux server. Okay, so you can deploy this application. Developer will deploy this application. Developer only will deploy the development environment, right? So for this purpose, what we need, so we need to install the Java, we need to install the Tomcat. So Tomcat is the web server. Okay, Tomcat is the web server. So we can deploy our application. So deploy our application in the any of the web servers. It may be a nginx for Python, or it may be a Apache for HTML, CSS, JavaScript. If it is a Tomcat, Tomcat, Java, JBoss Java, WebLogic Java. So right, .NET for IIS. These all are the web servers. We need to deploy that code into the web servers. So we need to deploy that code into the web servers. What this code? This code is the fb.jar. fb.jar. This is the code you deployed in the development environment. So you can test it if the application is working or not. Then so we can move forward to the QA environment. Again QA. So again QA is nothing but a testing team. Testing team will test the application, and they will give the sign off to the deploying in the production environment. They will give the sign off to the deploying in the production environment. So who will take care of this environment? This environment will be taking care of the either operation engineer or a DevOps guys. Who is DevOps guys? As a developer need to know about the cloud environment and the Linux. So at least a basic Linux and the cloud environment you need to know because of the in the real time. So in the real time, all the applications nowadays all the applications will be deployed under the cloud only. Nowadays all the applications will be deployed under the cloud only. So in this workshop, so what we will learn? So we will learn the AWS. So what we will learn? So we will learn the AWS cloud and Linux. So right, how it works for a developer. Developer need to know about the at least a basic knowledge of AWS and the Linux. So because of the development environment will be taken care by the developers only. Development environment will be taken care by the developers only. Right. So this is the reason everyone should know at least any one of the cloud and the Linux. Why Linux? So Linux is a popular and open source and a portable and it's a highly secure. So that's the reason. So in the industries, every application is deployed under the Linux only. So we can deploy the applications in Windows or a Linux, but Windows so doesn't have that much security. So that's the reason everyone is migrating from Windows to Linux platforms only. Windows to Linux platform only. Guys, understood? Yep, good. Right. So while learning this, now you understood like Linux and AWS are used in real job to run the apps and websites. So our applications will be run on the websites only. Learning this help you to get job ready. So what is AWS? AWS is a cloud platform where you can run apps on your remote servers. So where you can run apps on your remote server. Guys, understood? So where you can run on the AWS cloud. What this is? This is the this is the AWS cloud. In this AWS cloud, so you can launch the instances and you can deploy your application. Guys, today we'll show you how to deploy a Tomcat and Apache and JNX application in the in the Linux servers, guys. In the Linux servers. So it must be a very helpful for the freshers or anyone. How do you know? You need to know about the AWS and the Linux because of your development environment will be taken care by you only, right? So that's the reason you need to know about the at least a basic knowledge about the Linux and the AWS cloud, guys. Understood? One second. Who is that? Yeah. So what is a Linux? Linux is a AWS is a cloud platform where you can run apps on remote server like a virtual computers. So what is a Linux? Linux is the operating system used on most cloud servers. So right. So nowadays all the real-time applications are migrated to cloud only, right? So Linux is the operating system used on most cloud servers. It works through simple commands. It works through simple commands. What you will do? So in this session, you will connect to the AWS, use Linux, and deploy a small app just like real developers. Okay. So in this session, you will connect to the AWS. How you can connect to the AWS and use the Linux. How you can use the Linux and how we can deploy a small app through the Apache or a Tomcat and the Nginx. Okay, so connecting to the AWS. So easy access with the EC2 and SSH. So EC2, what we'll discuss about the EC2 and how we can add the EC2 and how we can install the Java Tomcat and how we can deploy our application. Okay, EC2 like as a virtual computer in our cloud where you can run your apps and stores files. Okay, SSH secure login. How we can connect that? How we can connect that server through the SSH? SSH helps you safely connect to your system instance. So from your laptop using the terminal. So how you can connect, guys? So for example, so this is my putty. This is my Linux instance. Okay. So, so putty is the tool. Put is the tool. So it provides a SSH access. It provides a SSH access. So I want to connect to the AWS server. For example, so this is my Linux machine. So this is my Linux machine IP address. So I want to connect this server. So I want to connect this server and sorry. Okay, so I want to connect this server. You are a developer. Your daily activities is connecting your development servers, whatever the develop the code, right? So we need to push it to this environment and deploy it and test it, right? So you can connect to this server and how you can connect through the SSH. Now you understood how we can connect this server? Yes. So what this instance we call it as a EC2, EC2 in AWS, EC2 in AWS, virtual machine in Azure, something like a compute virtual engine in GCP we call it as. So your work on workspace, each developer gets their own EC2. Each developer gets their own EC2 to test and build the application without affecting the others. Without affecting the others, what you can do, check the logs, run commands, and apply applications directly in the EC2 using simple terminal commands. Simple terminal commands. I will show you how to deploy it. Okay, so Linux environment in AWS. So simple basics for freshers. What is that? So why Linux? Basic commands, managing files and installing software. So most AWS servers uses Linux because of its fast, free, and powerful for running websites and apps. All the in the real time, all the gaming applications. So something like Netflix, right? That OTT streaming application. So that application is deployed under the AWS cloud. So that AWS e-commerce website, the shopping website, e-commerce website, also deployed under the AWS cloud only with through the Linux machine only. Okay, so NASA, Airbnb. So few of the customers are the big customers are deployed their application in the AWS and with Linux. So most AWS servers uses the Linux because of it's a fast, free, and powerful for running websites and apps. So basic commands. Learn easy to commands like ls to list the files, cd to move around, mkdir to make the folders, and how you can deploy your application, how you can start your Tomcat server, how you can stop your Tomcat server, how you can deploy a new code into this mission, how we can start the restart the services. So we'll show you. So managing the files, you will oftenly copy, move, delete, edit the files, all using simple terminal commands. Okay, and installing the softwares. How you can install the softwares? Need a new tool? Use simple commands to install apps and packages from the internet. So how you can use it? If it is a Linux, for example, you can use the yum is the package management. So in the Windows, just next. It will install, right? But in the Linux is a CLI based OS. CLI means command line interface. How you can interact with this OS, guys? You can interact with this OS through commands only. So what are those commands? The commands are ls commands, cd command, move command, mkdir. For example, files, copy, move, delete. So if you want to start the service, systemctl. Okay, for installing yum, if it is a Ubuntu, apt update. Okay, so we can do like that. So Apache and Tomcat installation. So why we need Apache, guys? Apache is the web server. So this Apache by default Linux, CentOS and Red Hat Fedora family. So provided a default web server. That web server is Apache web server. So you can install Apache web server by using minstall. So something like a Tomcat installation. How we can install the Tomcat and how we can deploy your code into the Tomcat machine. So what is Apache? Apache is a web server. It helps show website and apps when user visit your pages. Okay, installing Apache. So use simple Linux command like sudo apt install api Apache 2 to get started, or yum install Apache. Okay, so what is Tomcat? Tomcat runs Java applications. Okay, so what is a Tomcat? Tomcat is the a web server, and it runs the Java application. So you upload your var files, so facebook.var or whatever the var files, and it runs them on the server. So deploying it to the Tomcat. How we can deploy? So copy your var file into the Tomcat folder and restart it. Your app will be live. So this part, this is the main part, guys. We are discussing in this. So every developer, once they develop the code, right, they need to test it on the web servers. They need to test it on the web server. That web server is deployed under the Linux machine. That Linux machine is hosted under the cloud. So which cloud, guys? AWS cloud. Understood? Yeah, deployment in development environment. So what are the deployment in development environment? Testing before going live. Testing before going live. What is a dev environment? It's a test area where the developers try out code before showing it into the real users. Right? So in the production environment, real users are using. For example, so if you are trying to sign up the AWS, trying to sign up the Facebook button, but sign up button is not working in the real time, right? So that is the difficult, that is the bug, right? So before that, so we need to validate and we need to develop it. We need to develop it. So where we can develop, where we can develop that, we can develop that in the developers. Then we can test it in the development environment. It's a test area where the developers try out code before showing it in the real users. So deploying code, so you upload your app or updates in this page to see if it is works. How frequently? How frequently? So how frequently? So you upload your app. So right, why we need to connect daily? So once we deployed the application, right? So every so something like so nowadays the deployments are the development people are using the agile methodology. So what is the agile methodology? Once the agile methodology came into the picture, right? For example, SDLC, software development lifecycle. So nowadays software development lifecycle uses the agile methodology. Agile is nothing but a so it's a sprint based methodology. Sprint is nothing but within 15 days we can develop a feature and deploy it under the production environment. So before 15 days, right? So you can develop your code and you can test it if that application is working fine or not. Where we can test it? We can test it in our development environment. So for that purpose, we need a development environment. So deploying code. So what is a dev environment? It's a test area where developers try out the code and before showing it into the real users. So deploying the code. So you can upload your app or updates to this page to see if it is works. So testing and fixing. So if check if the app is working. If not, you fix the bugs here first and so deploy it under the production. So safe zone. So mistakes are all okay here. It's a safe to learn, test and improve before going to live. So live is nothing but a production environment. Why this workshop is useful? So helping freshers to learn the real skills. Guys, what is that? So why this workshop is useful? Helping freshers to learn real skills. So something like practice real work, learn with confidence, use tools, company uses, and step into the cloud careers. Okay. So practice the real work. You will get to try real tasks like logging into AWS using Linux, how we can deploy our application. So right, how we can move your war file from your local to that AWS Linux servers and how we can deploy it, right? So learn with confidence. Doing it yourself builds confidence and helps you understand faster. So then use tools company uses. Which tools are the company uses? You can learn tools like EC2, SSH, Tomcat, Apache, Nginx, the same ones used in the job. So in the real time. So nowadays, right? So, for example, you are a fresher. You are thinking like you are a fresher. So, I need to know at least just a course of something like a Java or Python. So we will learn. So when we get the job, then they will give you the KT and you can understand how the development is working, right? But nowadays, so whenever you got the job, right, they will sit it in the directly in the development environment. They will give it to the they will give the access to the development environment. You guys can take care of your the deployment things, right? So if you know how we can deploy, how we can uh, install under Linux, how we can use the Tomcat, and how we can use the AWS, it will be very helpful to you guys. Okay. So workshop objective. What is the objective of this workshop? What you will learn today, guys? What you will learn today? So how we can connect to the AWS? How we can connect to the AWS? So what this is the AWS cloud. How we can connect this AWS and how you can launch the EC2 instance. So how we can register first, how we can register it, and how we can launch EC2 instance, and how we can connect the EC2 instance. Then how we can install the web servers, how you can deploy your application. So today we'll discuss and the Linux. The Linux part you need to know, right? So Linux is a CLI based operating system. So right, in the real time application, all the OSs are only CLI. So right, you see, so this is the a CLI based application. What you need to do? So if you want to install any software, you need to install through commands only. You need to install through commands only. Okay, so we'll discuss how we can connect the Linux, or how we can operate the Linux. Okay, we'll discuss in this session. Yep. So connect to AWS. So learn how to log into AWS servers using EC2 and SSH like a real cloud engineer, and use Linux commands. Try basic Linux commands to move around, manage files, and install tools. Deploy an app. So deploy an app. So how we can deploy a application? How we can deploy your a var or jar file into the Linux environment. So deploy a small web app using Apache and Tomcat and Nginx to see. So it work live. How it works live. Stay curious, guys. So keep asking questions and trying things. That how you can grow in tech. So right. So in the real time environment, if you are a developer, you need to know at least these things, because of a developer can get the access of AWS and their development environment. You guys only deploy your application into the development environment and test it. So if it is working, then we can move it to the testing environment. Once they tested the application, then so it will be deployed into the production environment. So why testing team works here? For example, you developed the application. You developed the application. QA team validate. QA team certified that if the application is working fine or not. If they are facing any issues or bugs or issues, so we can get back to the developers. Something like the sign up button is not working, the sign up and sign in button is not working, something like so your username password text is not working. So while log into this, right, these all are the real world issues. So before enter into the production, right, so we need to validate it, and we need to so issue we need to resolve it before going to the production. Okay, so that's the reason. So every developer need to know about the AWS Linux and how to deploy the application. So this is the real world scenarios, guys. Guys, understood? Yes, guys. Guys, speak out. Then I will understand if you are able to understand or not. Guys, understood? Yep, guys. Thanks. So, so what we will learn this course? So we'll learn about the so AWS cloud. What is AWS? How it comes? So why it is used widely? So what is the benefits of AWS? Okay, and we'll discuss about the Linux. So how we can launch an instance in the AWS, and how we can operate this Linux, operate this Linux in the AWS cloud. So how we can deploy your application, how we can connect to the Linux server, and how we can frequently connected to the Linux and every day, and you guys can deploy your application in the Linux environment and test it, right? So, and we'll install any of the Apache or Tomcat web server, then we can deploy it. Okay, yeah. So, what is a Amazon Web Services? So before going to Amazon Web Services, first, what is a cloud? How cloud came into the picture, guys? So what is cloud and how cloud came into the picture? One second, guys. Yeah. So module one. So what is a cloud, guys? So I will tell you before this. Yeah. So this is the AWS cloud. You understood about the AWS cloud, right? So before the cloud, where they're deploying the applications, where they are hosting the applications. They are hosting the applications in the data centers. What is that, guys? Data centers. What we call it as a data centers. Data center or on-premise environment. What is that, guys? On-premise on-premise environment. So here also they are deploying their applications. So for example, this is the Dev QA prod environment. So Dev QA a prod environment. Dev QA and prod. Okay. So they are deploying the first they are deploying their application in the dev, they are deploying in the application in the QA, they are deploying the application in the prod environment. So what is data center? So data center is a solution where we can keep our servers, where we can keep our servers. They are providing a rental space to keep our servers. To keep our servers, what they are providing? They are providing the uptime of the 99% durability, sustainability. Okay. So what they are providing? They are providing a data center. So CTRL data center. So what this is, guys? Yeah, you see, so control as ACS largest rated for data center. What this is, guys? So this is the data center. What they are providing the rental space for to keep our servers. So where we can deploy our applications, we can deploy our applications in the servers. So where we can keep that servers, we can keep that servers in the data center. Why we need to keep it in the data centers? So data centers provides a 24 by 7, 24 by 7 running 24 by 7 and 365 days are running. So they are providing the uptime. Uptime means that it will be running on 24 by 7. Okay. So data center racks. Yeah. You see, guys. So these all are the racks. So these all are you see, right? This is the data center. In the data center, they are provides the rack. In the racks, what they are so in the racks, so we are keeping our servers. These all are the servers. We are keeping it in the data center and we can deploy our application in the data center. But what they are providing the 24 by 7 and 365 days uptime 99.99% because of so they are providing multiple internet backups and multiple power backups. Your application will not goes down. So will not goes down. That's the reason. So we are keeping our environments in the data center only. Okay. So data center provides only the IaaS. What they are providing? They are providing the infrastructure as a service. What is this, guys? IaaS is nothing but a infra as a service. Only they are providing the infra as a service. So if you are having any issue with the server, so our operational engineer will go to the data center and resolve the issue, or we need to frequently go to the data centers and resolving the issues, right? So what they are providing only the infrastructure as a service. So a AWS cloud, a Amazon company having a thought, Amazon company having a thought to create a application for the data center. Amazon Amazon INC having a thought to develop a application for the data center. Develop a application for the data center. So, for example, before, before in the banking transactions, how we are doing the banking transactions before, guys? So nowadays we are using the application to transfer the money and everything. Before, how we are doing our banking transactions? So manually, right? So manually you need to go to the bank and you can write the application form, savings or something like a withdrawal, from then we can withdraw the money. So manually, physically we are doing it. Later what happened, guys? Later they build the application. Later they build the application, and now we can use that web application, accessbank.com or hdfc.com, access bank. So Access Bank. So right. So we have a application. So this is the application. Who developed this application? Developer developed this application. So where deployed this application? This application is deployed under the production environment. So whatever we are seeing in the real time, these are the production environment. This application is deployed in the production. So before it will be deployed under the QA, once they are validated the application, everything is working fine. All the buttons, all the test boxes, everything is working fine. Then we can deploy it into the production. So who will develop and who will test it? The development team develop and test it in the development environment, right? So before, there is no bank applications. So we manually go to the bank and do the transactions. Later they created a app for the banking application. The same like as a insurance also. So before, how we are paying the insurances? So life insurances are something like so a agent came into your home, or you need to go to the that LIC office or whatever you can pay the money. But nowadays a application came into the picture. You can a application or an app came into the picture. You can pay your premiums in the application app only. The same way, the Amazon company also got the idea. So I want to create a application for the infra also. I want to create a application for the infra also. That thought is nothing but a cloud. That thought is nothing but a cloud. So cloud is nothing but an API. API is nothing but a application. So that application will connect to the data center only. What is this? So this is just a website. What this is, guys? This is just a website. So this website is developed by the developers, and so finally you want a instance. Instance is nothing but a server. So server comes from the infra only. So where the infra is created, so the infra is created through data center only. The infra is created through data center only, right? So now you guys got it right. The AWS, the initially who thought, so who gave the thought that Amazon gave the thought to develop the cloud. So cloud is nothing but so it's a API or a console. So it was developed by the through the website, and you can connect to the so finally you can connect to the data center only. So finally you can connect to the data center. Why data center? So we need a server. It's a predefined environment. It's a predefined environment. Same like as so before we are doing the manual things. Now we are having a application. Now we are having a app for the servers. So they created an application and they link it to the data centers. They link it to the data centers. So for example, Amazon data center. Amazon data center. You guys see? So this is the Amazon data centers. So whatever we are getting the instances, right? That instances are comes from the data center only. But all these instances are predefined. So it's a predefined. So you will get it in a within a seconds because of it's already predefined. If you select it and just launch it. It will automatically launch, guys. It will automatically launch, right? So one is there is no manual intervention. We don't need to go to the data centers again and again. So we just log into the app and we just wherever you are. So wherever you are. So if you have an internet, you can connect to the AWS. So AWS console, and you can access your servers. You can access your servers. And in the data center, so for example, if you want a app server, so you need to launch first. You need to install the OS, then you need to install the applications, right? Softwares, and you can deploy it. So for example, database servers, right? So what they are providing, so they are created as a database, Oracle database, and they are providing as a service. What they are providing? They are providing as a services. What they are providing? All the servers is nothing but a services in the cloud. All the servers is nothing but a services in the cloud. So for example, you need a you need a instance, you need a server. The server they call it as a instance. Server they call it as a instance, and so what they call it as, so this is the EC2 service, where we can provide this instance in the EC2 compute service. Okay, EC2 compute service. So for example, you need a Oracle database. For example, Oracle database, right? So what they are provided, they created the instance and they installed the Oracle database. They provided as a RDS service. RDS service. So if you get the RDS service, it automatically install the instance, it automatically install the Oracle Linux also. So if need a storage service, so storage is nothing but a S3 service. S3 service. So why cloud is popular? Because of the slogan of the cloud is, what is the slogan of the cloud, guys? Pay as you go. What is that, guys? Pay as you go. What is pay as you go? So pay as you go means whenever you use the server, pay per use base. What is that? Pay as you go is nothing but a pay per use base. So whenever you use the server, that time only we can pay the money. That time only we can pay the money. So whenever you stop the server, right, you don't need to pay the money. So that is the reason one of the big one of the big innovative thought AWS came into the picture, that is pay as you go model. So pay as you go model is nothing but a whenever you use the that server, you can pay that only. Whenever you use the any service, that time only we can pay the money. Otherwise we cannot pay the money. So how it came? So for example, this is the dev environment, QA environment, and prod environment. So this environment will be run on 24 by this environment will be run on 24 by 7 and 365 days because of it's a live environment. So websites are in live. Okay, this need to be run at 24 by 7 and 365 days. But in the development environment and QA environment, so do we need to run this 24 by 7 and 365 days? No, because of developers will work on how many hours? So daily. So how many hours, guys? Daily 8 hours. So daily 8 hours they will work on that, right? So that time they can start the servers and they can stop the servers. The rest of 16 hours, they will stop they will stop the servers. So that time we cannot pay the money. We cannot pay the money in the cloud. But in the data centers, so if you are using or if you are not using, so we need to pay the money if you keep it in the data center. This is the drawback of the data center. Why cloud popular? Because of pay as you go model. What is this? So here they are provided as a IaaS, only infrastructure as a service, infrastructure as a service. But in the cloud they are provided as a IaaS, PaaS, and a SaaS. What is IaaS? What is SaaS? What is PaaS? Okay, so the data center provides the IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Okay, this one also provides the infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service. If you need only infrastructure, okay, you can get the infrastructure as a service. Okay, passive. What is a passive? Platform platform as a service. What is platform as a service? So I will tell you. So SaaS, what is SaaS? Software as a service. Software as a service. Okay. So what is a platform as a service? What is a software as a service? What is IaaS, guys? IaaS, you know it. So what is IaaS? Whatever the data center provides, right? The same IaaS cloud also provides. What is a PaaS? What is a SaaS? Okay. So for example, you are a client. You are a client, guys. So the client, you are a client. You need a application for your environment. So for our environment or a business. Okay. So for our environment or a business. So what you need to go into the any one of the software company and you can ask them to any service company, service based company. Then you can contact with the service based company. Then you can ask to create a application for our business environment, right? So then what they will do, they will purchase the servers in the data center. Then the operation engineers will deploy all the softwares and the developers will develop the code and deploy the code. So if you took so why do we need to go to the companies? So the cloud provides the IaaS, cloud provides the PaaS, cloud provides the SaaS. You don't need to go to anywhere. I will provide everything. You can come to me and I will provide everything. I will provide the infra. I will provide the platform. So what is platform as a service? Platform as a service means, for example, you are a developer. For example, you are a developer, you don't know how to deploy the application. Just so you bought the service as a PaaS. What is that? PaaS service. You took the service as a PaaS service. PaaS, what they will provide? They will build the infra and they will build the OS, install the OS, and they will install the libraries. What are the libraries? So if you want to develop your application, what are the libraries you need? What are the softwares you need? You need a Java and Tomcat, right? The developer doesn't know Java Tomcat, right? So you know how to deploy this application, right? So you have already in the code. You can use that code fb.jar and you took the platform as a service. So what they will take care of, what they will manage, who will manage up to IaaS PaaS, who will manage AWS, the cloud provider will manage. If it is a AWS, if it is a Azure, if it is a GCP, they will manage the infra and the software libraries. So if they're having any issues with the Tomcat, Java or Linux OS, who will take care of that, guys? The Linux cloud, that AWS cloud will take care of it. Will take care of it. AWS having their own support. They will guide you how to troubleshoot it. So if you are a developer, you directly go to the cloud and you took the service as a PaaS, then you can deploy your application. No, I don't know. I'm not a developer. I don't know anything. I want everything. I want a infra, I want a platform, and I want a software as well. So, for example, email service or a so HR payroll services, whatever it may be. I need a software. I need to use that software. So I don't know how to build this. I don't know how to develop, how to deploy. I don't know. You guys can take care everything. You guys can take care development, that libraries installation, that infra, everything you guys can take care. So if you want to develop a application, you can take the service as a software as a service. In the software as a service, what they will provide? They will provide the infra, they will provide the PaaS, and they will also provide the code also. So if you need a website, you don't go to any service based companies. You just come to any one of the cloud and you can ask to the software as a service. They will do everything. They will do everything. So that is the reason cloud is popular. So, but data center provides only IaaS, but cloud provides IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. What these all are, we call it as a cloud services. What we call it as? So we call it as a, these all are nothing but a cloud services. Guys, understood? So these all are the core components of the cloud computing. So these cloud services for Azure, AWS, GCP, Oracle, IBM, Alibaba. Okay, so this provides everyone. This is the core component. This is the core component. So who are providing the cloud services, guys? Who are providing the cloud solutions? Guys, tell me who are providing? AWS, Azure, GCP, okay, Oracle, IBM, Alibaba, okay. So these all are providing the cloud services. So who launched the cloud services first? AWS launches the cloud service first. So that idea to market is AWS. AWS launched the this cloud services. This cloud services. Guys, understood? Guys, understood? Yes, guys. Nice. Okay. So now, so we will discuss about the cloud services. Cloud providers are AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle, IBM, Alibaba. And the cloud services are IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, and cloud environments. What they are providing? They are providing the private, public, and hybrid. What are those? Private, public, and hybrid. So if you took as a public, so everyone can use your infra, so whenever you stop, right, so that time the cpu ram so will be allocated to the another. So if you want a private, private is nothing but a, it's a specific to you only, it will not assign it to the anyone. Hybrid is nothing but a, if you want a both private public, you can use the hybrid cloud. So what is that, guys? The clouds are public cloud, public, private, and hybrid cloud. What is that? Hybrid cloud. So hybrid is nothing but a public cloud plus private is nothing but a hybrid cloud. Guys, understood now? Yeah. Yeah. So introduction to cloud computing, you already know. What is a cloud computing? So cloud computing is a service. They over the internet you can use any services. So why we go for cloud computing? History and origins of a cloud computing, characteristics of the cloud computing, types of the cloud services, software as a service, platform as a service, infra as a service, cloud implementation types, so conclusion. So you already know this one. We just know what is cloud computing in the, so just a means of cloud computing. What is a cloud service? Services and solutions that are delivered and consumed in a real time over the internet or cloud services. So when you store your photos online, web email, social networking sites, so you will use the cloud computing services. First of all, what is a cloud computing? Cloud computing is a delivery model of computing services over the internet. Indeed, it enables a real-time development, real-time development and deployment and the delivery of a broad range of products, services, and solutions. Cloud computing is a style of computing where massively scalable IT-related capabilities are provided as a service across the internet to the multiple external customers. Multiple external customers. What is that, guys? Cloud computing. So computing and software resources that are delivered on demand as a service. So what are the service they are providing? Storage service, application service, database service. Computing and what is that? What is the cloud computing? Computing and software resources that are delivered on demand as a service. Okay. So why we go for cloud computing? We already know, we already discussed. Lower computing cost, improved performance, reduced the software cost, instant software updates, unlimited storage capacity, increased the data reliability, device independence and always on, anywhere and any place. So free from the maintenance and no need to know about it, guys. So history and origins of the cloud computing. So I already told you, right? So the idea to market is Amazon. So who got the idea? The idea got the Amazon web service. Amazon. So we started as a Amazon web services. What is AWS? A means Amazon. W means web. Web means we can get it over the internet. Services means compute service, storage service. AWS is nothing but a Amazon web services. What is that, guys? AWS is nothing but a Amazon Web Services. What is the abbreviation of AWS, guys? Amazon Web Services. So what they are providing? Amazon company provided the web-based services. So web-based services means so this is what these are? So these are the all services. Yeah, you see all the services, view all the services what they are providing. So they are providing through the web, through the web. So what they are, so they are having multiple services: compute service, container storage, database, so migration and transfer, networking and connectivity, developer tool, customer enablement, blockchain, satellite analytics, game development, so internet of things, end user computing, business application, machine learning, application integration, front-end web mobile application, media services, cloud financials, and security, identity, and compliance. So these all are the services which are provided by the AWS, which are provided by the AWS. Understood, guys? Right. In 1996, supercomputers or mainframes came into the picture. So in arrival of 99, the first milestone of the cloud, the first milestone of the cloud when it was in 1999. In 2000 launched AWS Amazon Web Services. So Amazon company launched the web services in 2000, and in 2000 they provided the S3 also. In 2008 Windows, Azure, and Google, they are also started the cloud. They are also started the cloud platform. They are also started the platform. Okay. Characteristic of the cloud computing. You already know, right? On demand as a service. So flexible pricing, pay per use, rapid elasticity, resource pooling, effective network access. So right. So what they are providing? They are providing the resource pooling and the rapid elasticity and flexible pay per use. Okay. And cloud service layers. What are the cloud service layers? Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and application as a application software as a service, right? What are the services? IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS. What are the services, guys? IaaS, PaaS, or services. So cloud service layers. What are the cloud service layers? Software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So what infrastructure as a service? IaaS is the delivery of a technology infrastructure as a on-demand scalable service. What is platform as a service? Plat- Platform as a service provides all the facilities required to support the complete life cycle of a building and delivering web application and the services entirely from the internet. Software as a service. Software as a service is a software delivery methodology that provides a license multi-tenant access to the software and its functions remotely as a web-based services. Okay. So what are the cloud service layers? Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So what it will do? So in the infrastructure as a service, what they are providing the firewalls, load balancers, servers, networking, storage, data center fabrics, everything will be under the infrastructure as a service. So in the platform as a service, so middleware, development tool, getting web, database, Java runtime, this will be provided by the platform as a service. So software as a service. So software as a service means everything they will provide. They will provide the platform, infra, everything. So email, something like industry applications or business process applications, CRM, ERP, HR applications. These all our applications will be under the software as a service. What are the cloud service models? Comparison. So traditional IT in the data center. What is that? In the data center, everything will be taken care by you only. Everything will be taken care by you only. That networking, storage, servers, virtualization, OS, middleware, runtime, data, and application. But if you took a IaaS as a service in the cloud, so this is the data center on-premise environment. So you took the IaaS as in the AWS or a clinic cloud. So up to what they will provide networking, storage, servers, virtualization, OS. What you can do? So you can install the software and you can deploy the application. If you took as a platform as a service, what they will provide? They will provide up to the PaaS, networking, storage, servers, virtualization, OS, middleware, runtime. So everything provide, just you need to deploy your application. So who will manage up to PaaS? cloud only manage. Up to IaaS or cloud only manage. If you take as a SaaS, up to SaaS, who will manage the AWS cloud? Any cloud? They will manage networking, storage, servers, virtualization, OS, middleware, runtime, data, application. Everything will be managed by the SaaS. Everything will be managed by the cloud provider only. Guys, understood? Yeah, cloud implementation types. What are the types of implementation? It's a private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. So private cloud is nothing but it's like a enterprise data center. You need a particular data center, so that will be connected to through you only. So that resources will not allocate to the others. Okay, you need a dedicated reserved services, that is a private. So private is a internal cloud data center, cloud data center. Publicly is a external cloud. So this will be handled by this will be accessed by the all the industries. Okay, hybrid means if you want a both private and public, you can take care of the hybrid cloud. Guys, understood? Yeah. So public cloud, so owned and managed by the service provider, made available to general public or a in large industry group. So private operated slowly as an organization, maybe a managed by the organization or a third party, limited access to enterprise and partner. Hybrid. The composition of a two or more clouds, private, community, and public, bound together by the standardized or a proprietary technology that enables data and application portability. So conclusion. Cloud computing is the fastest growing part of network-based computing. It provides a tremendous benefit to customers for all sizes, simple users, developers, enterprises, and all types of organizations. All types of organizations. Now, this cloud computing is for every cloud provider. These all are. So these cloud service layers, cloud providers, and cloud types, implementation types. This is the core features of this is the core features of the cloud. This will be this will be used by the any cloud provider. If it is a AWS, if it is a GCP, if it is a Azure, if it is a Alibaba cloud, or if it is a Oracle cloud. So right, so everyone can be taking care of this core functionality, the cloud information types and cloud services, right? So now you understood. So why cloud is popular? Yes, very good. So what is that, guys? What is AWS? Benefits of using AWS, history and origins of AWS, AWS components, services, regions, availability zones, edge locations, and AWS certifications. Okay. So in the model 2, we'll discuss about these topics. Okay. So right, guys, now you understood about the cloud computing. Okay. So what is cloud computing? You understood about the what is cloud computing. Right, guys, now you understood what is cloud computing. So cloud computing, they are providing a services over the internet. So it will be very easy to scalable, and you can use it in maintenance, easy to access. Okay. So what is the cloud computing? They are providing a API to connect to the API, and you can launch whatever the services you want over the internet. So wherever you are, if you have a internet, you can directly connect to the console, and you can if you want to launch any instances. So wherever you are, you can set it, and if you have a internet, you can sit and you can launch the instances. You can launch the instances. Guys, now we got it. What is AWS? Right? So AWS is a cloud computing provider. Who is that? So cloud provider. AWS is the cloud provider. What is Amazon Web Services? AWS is nothing but a Amazon Web Service. What is AWS? Amazon Web Service is a cloud provider. They provide you with servers and services that you can use on demand and scale easily. What is that? On demand and scale easily. AWS has revolutionized IT over the time. AWS powers some of the biggest websites in the world, Amazon.com and Netflix. What are those, guys? Amazon.com and Netflix. These all are the deployed under the which cloud, guys? Amazon dot in. So dot in is nothing but a India. So continue with the shopping. This website is deployed under the which cloud provider? AWS cloud provider. Okay. And Netflix also. What is that? Netflix. So this website also, this OTT platform also deployed under the which cloud guys? AWS cloud only. In this cloud only. In this cloud only. Guys understood? Yeah. So AWS powers some of the biggest websites in the world. Amazon.com and Netflix are deployed. That a web application is deployed under the which cloud service, guys? Which cloud provider? AWS cloud provider. Guys, understood? AWS cloud provider. Nice, guys. Okay, so what we will learn in this course, we just learn the how to launch the EC2 instance, what are the services are there, and what the services uses for, and EC2 instance, launch EC2 instance, connect to EC2 instance, and Linux commands. Then how to launch the application, how to deploy the application. Okay, so Amazon EC2 is nothing but these all are the services. So Amazon ECR, Elastic Container Resource, Container Registry, ECS, and Elastic Container Service. Amazon Elastic Beanstalk, Lambda, Auto Scaling, IAM, KMS, Amazon S3 Bucket, SES, RDS, Aurora, DynamoDB, Elastic Cache, SQS, SNS. So right, Amazon CloudWatch, CloudFormation, CloudTrail, Gateway, Elastic Load Balancing, Amazon CloudFront, Unisys, Route 53, Lambda. Right, these all are the services are. These all are the most popular services in the AWS. AWS Cloud History. I already told you, right, how came into the picture. 2000, they started, the idea to market is 2000. They got the thought idea. 2000, then they internally launched in the 2002. After 2 years, they launched in the internally. Then in 2003, Amazon infrastructure, one of their core strength idea to market. And 2004 launched publicly with SQS. In 2006, up to 2004, they launched in the American region only. They are launched in the American region only. So in 2006, they relaunched in the publicly with SQS S3 EC2S in the American region. Then so they idea to market. So we will provide this application all over the globe. Over the globe, we need to provide this solution. So they are building this application and every region, every country we can use it. So something like what are the regions, guys? You already know, right? AMER region, APAC region, EMEA region. I will tell you that. Okay. So what are the biggest websites deployed in our cloud? NASA also using the AWS only. Netflix also using the AWS only. Dropbox also using the AWS only. Airbnb also using the AWS only. This is the history of the AWS cloud. AWS Cloud number facts. So in 2019, AWS had 35.02 billion in annual revenue. AWS accounts for 47% of the market in 2019. Microsoft is second with 22. So who are the leaders, guys? The leaders are the leaders are Amazon Web Services, Microsoft, and Google. So, pioneer and leader of the AWS cloud market for the ninth consecutive year. Over the 10 lakhs active users are using. So, AWS use cases. We are using the AWS. AWS enables you to build sophisticated, scalable applications applicable to diverse set of industries. Use cases include so you can use for enterprise IT, backup and storage, big data analytics, website hosting, mobile and social apps, gaming. Everywhere you can use the AWS cloud. McDonald's, 21st Century Fox, Activision, Netflix, they are using the AWS cloud. So AWS is the global infrastructure. What is that? AWS global infrastructure. Global infrastructure. Yep, guys. You see, so this is the globe, right? The regions. So what are the regions? So the regions are APAC. APAC region. So APAC region is nothing but a Asia Pacific region. So Asia Pacific region. So these all are the Asia Pacific regions. What are those? Not these two. Yeah, you see, guys, EMEA. What is the EMEA, guys? Europe and the Middle East, Africa, EMEA region. So North America, AMER is nothing but a America region. APAC is nothing but a Asia Pacific region. So right, so they are created a. This is the website, right? Everyone can use it. But what they are doing, what is the regions? So the regions are EMEA, PAC, and AMER. These are the three regions. So three regions having the countries. We'll show you here also, please. Right. So they are created the global. Those are the regions. Regions you see right here. Yeah. So United States, so Asia Pacific and Canada, Europe, these all are the EMEA region and APAC region and North America region. So they are created this. So what this region is, we will got it. What is a region? Y region. Right. They created the application is a global. Okay. Yeah. So what this is, guys, global infrastructure. AWS is the global infrastructure. You see that? This is the global infrastructure and regions. So what are the regions? Ohio, North Virginia, Gulf Cloud, Canada, North California, Oregon. Okay. Ireland, London, Spain, Milan, Paris, Frankfurt, Scotland, and so right. Singapore, Tokyo, right? I will tell you those ways. What is AWS regions? What is AWS availability zones? What is AWS data centers? What is AWS edge locations and points of presence? What is edge locations and points of presence? Okay. AWS regions. AWS has regions all around the world. Names can be US East, US West. A region is the cluster of data centers. Most AWS services are region scoped. You see, guys, here. What is that? AWS has a regions all around the world. Names can be US East, US West. A region is a cluster of data centers. Most AWS services are region scoped. What is that? US East, US West. So Africa, South Africa, Hong Kong, Mumbai, Seoul, Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo. These are the APAC regions. These are the AMER regions. These are the EMEA regions. Canada, Europe, Frankfurt, London, Paris, Scotland. These all are the regions. Names can be US East 1. So North Virginia is a US East 1. So Ohio is US East 2. California is US West 1. Same like as Asia Pacific, AP Southeast, Mumbai, AP Southeast 1. Soil AP Northeast 2. AP Southeast 2. Like understood? So these are the regions. A region is a cluster of data center. What is that? Cluster of data center is nothing but a group of data centers. So group of data centers is nothing but number of data centers. Number of data centers. Most AWS services are region scoped. Most AWS services are region code. How to choose an AWS region? So for example, so your idea to market something like you want to develop a website. That website uses only the India. For example, the Rummy, that's something like a games. So for example, a Rummy Circle or Ace to 3. Ace to 3 is a Indian company that uses the gaming. So that gaming is a rummy circle. So most of the people uses in the Indian people only. So right. So they want to launch the application in the Indian data centers only. Okay. So where we can take that India? So we can take that in the, for example, Mumbai region. So I need a Asia Pacific in India. I want a Mumbai region. So mostly people are using India people only, right? So I need a data center near to India, near to our location. So right. So for example, Netflix is the all over the world. Where they deployed in the American region. American region. So for example, this application is related to Frankfurt, Central Canada, Ireland, London. They are taking care of their own regions. They will deploy their application in their own regions. Guys, understood? So if you need to launch a new application, where should you do it? So compliance with the data governance and legal requirements. Data never leaves a region without your explicit permissions. Data never leaves a region without your explicit permissions. So promiscuity to the customers, reduce the latency, available services. So what are the available services within the region? New services and new features are not available in the every region. So pricing also vary, right? So the dollar value in India, something like 86 rupees or something like that. In dollar, $1 equal to in Hyderabad, in US, right? That may be a pricing vary. Pricing varies to region, and it's transparent in the service pricing page. Availability zones. So what are the availability zones? Availability zone is it's a logical based. Each region has many availability zones, guys. So for example, what is that AWS region? AWS is nothing but a Sydney. So Sydney, AP Southeast 2. Southeast 2 having the three availability zones. In this three availability zone, how many data centers are there? Every availability zone having two data centers. Every availability zone having the two data centers. We have a region contains three availability zones. Every availability zone having the two data centers. Each region has many availability zones, usually three. What is that? Usually three, minimum two, max six. So AP Southeast to A, AP Southeast to B, AP Southeast to C. So usually three, min to max six. Every region having six availability zones or three availability zones or minimum two availability zones. Each availability zone is a one or more discrete data center with redundant power networking and connectivity. They are separate from each other so that they are isolated from the disaster. They are connected with high bandwidth, ultra low latency networking. So AWS points of presence, edge locations. So for example, so the pricing is vary from India to US. The pricing is so cheaper than India. So I want to build the infra in my US region, but our application will be used in the Indian people. So then you can deploy your application in the in the Indian US region. Then you can create a edge locations in India location. So the first time it will connect to the US data centers. Then your application will come into the Indian data centers. So the second time when you are hitting the application, right? So it will hit to the at that points of presence edge location. So Amazon has 216 points of presence and 205 edge locations, 11 regional caches in 84 cities across the 42 countries. So content is delivered end to end user with a lower latency. Guys, so what is the category? So something like so compute, container, serverless, infrastructure, continuous integration, monitoring, logging, database, and identity access and networking. So Azure, AWS, GCP, OCI. So right, they are providing. What is this is infrastructure? So managed Kubernetes. These all are the services they are provided by the AWS guys. Guys, understood? Now, so now how we can register or sign up with the AWS account, guys. So AWS provides a free tier account for the students. Which account, guys? Free tier, free tier AWS account for students. Okay. So free cloud computing services. What is free cloud computing service? New customer get to 200 credits. So what is a free plan? So experience with AWS for up to 6 months without costing the or commitment received up to 200 USD in credits. Include the free usage of selective services. No charge incurred unless you switch to the paid plan. So workload scale beyond credit that assures access to the all the AWS service for the futures. Okay. So what they are providing? They are providing the EC2, S3, RDS, DynamoDB, Lambda, SageMaker, Aurora SQL, Bedrock, all these services in the free plan. All the services in the free plan, right? Get sign up with the AWS account. How we can sign up with the AWS? Guys, I have a, yeah. Guys, you guys all already know about the Git and GitHub. You have a GitHub account, right? You guys can fork my this AWS DevOps material repository. This repository contains all the materials. So what is that? The AWS materials will have AWS instance creation, AWS account creation, right? All these materials will be uploaded in this GitHub repository, guys. Okay. So Linux administration. So the Linux administration materials also available in here. Okay. Yeah, so AWS material. So whatever I showed you, right? This material is available here. AWS account creation setup. Okay, how we can create the AWS account. So easy to instance creation setup. Okay, so Linux basic commands, Linux material here. You guys can. So Git, we have. If you want to Git, you can guys use the Git packs. Okay, all these upload in the all the materials will be uploaded in the so AWS DevOps material. So what is that? Hari Krishna Cheruko 866 is my GitHub account, guys. In this GitHub account, I uploaded all the materials. I uploaded all the materials, guys. So in 360-degree freshers Linux batch degree batch freshers or something like guys. I uploaded all the materials, everything in the day 1 to day 11. So if you want to, guys, you guys can go through it. Go through it. So whatever the YouTube link and what are the images, what we discussed in the images, right? That images also I uploaded here. I uploaded here. You guys can go through if you want to, guys. Okay. Yeah. Now, how to create a AWS account? How to create the AWS account? So for this, guys, we need a credit card or a debit card. We need a credit card or a debit card, guys. I will tell you. Yeah, guys. So AWS account. So AWS account creation, sign up for free tier usage. Free tier usage, guys. So what we need, guys, we need a online payment card, either credit card or debit card. So it will be chargeable. It will be it will be created 2 rupees. And okay. So you need a AWS account, computer with the internet, a web browser, Linux SSH kind, or a Windows. Okay. So what we need to get started. So right, let's start it. So what is that? So you need to provide the email address, email address. So then, so email address and phone number, it will be verify the email address. Then you need to provide the all this and password. So contact information, credit card or debit card details, then phone verification, then basic support. So what support you need? You need a free or a monthly or a business developer business enterprise. Okay. So this is the way we can sign up. You can sign up as a root user or a IAM user. Root user as an IAM. So once you log into that, right? So this is the login. This is the dashboard. Once you log into this dashboard, you will get these all these services. You will get all these services. Guys, understood? I will show you the other way. AWS instance, cloud, account creation, concept. AWS account creation is down here, or else we can download it from here also. You guys just download it here. There is the public repository, guys. So there is no restrictions. You can download or you can fork it. You will get everything. So you will get. Yep, guys. Are you able to see, right? So AWS account creation process. Okay. So you can use something like what you can use. So AWS management or AWS account creation. You just search it in the Amazon Web Services. Okay, so create a account. Just click it create account. It will route it to the portal.aws.com. What is that? It will route it to the portal.aws.com. Okay. Yeah. Yep, guys. I already told you, right? So try AWS at no cost for the up to 6 months. Start with USD 100 in AWS credits plus earn up to USD 1000 by completing the various activities. Okay, this is the a basic plan. So what you need to do, you need to sign up, verify the email account. What is that? First, you need to verify the email account. This is the sign up. Enter email account and name. So you can verify the email account. The second one is go to mail account for the verification code and paste it here. Then, so choose personal radio button option to fill in the details. So this is the step 3. Step 4, use credit card or debit card details and fill it. So it will charge 2 rupees for verification. Guys, 2 rupees for verification. Then enter your contact details verification. Then enter verification code with your got or mobile number. Then choose the plan. Which choose your plan? So choose a basic, a developer, or a business, or an enterprise. So you can choose the a basic support plan. Okay, so congratulations, we will sign up your AWS account. Okay, so this is nothing but a AWS sign up. How we can sign up your AWS? So once you sign up, right? So what is this? So I will tell you. So I'm logging out, sign out from this. So what is the URL, guys? aws.amazon.com/console. aws.amazon.com/console. Okay, just sign into the console. Just assign it to the console. Yeah, here. So you already registered with right a email address. That is the root email address. You just assign it to the root user email. You just assign it to the root email user email. So under the address of the email, whatever you provided, right? That username and password. So this is my username and password. Yeah. So I enabled the MFA. What is MFA, guys? MFA is a multi-factor authentication. How you can interact with the website? You can interact with this website through two passwords. One is so username password and the MFA. So MFA is a multi-factor authentication. So I will provide the code for the MFA. So 718013. Okay. Let's change it up. 204296. So you can install an app in your mobile, then you can authenticate with your AWS account. So here, so if you go to the here, right, in the security credentials, if you click the security credentials, so it will enable, guys, must and should we need to enable the MFA. So right, multi-factor authentication. So access key, secret key. So how we can enable the MFA. Assign a MFA device. It will be very easy, guys. Nothing to worry about it. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm going to my account. So now I log into that, right? So this is the AWS dashboard. What this is, guys? This is the AWS dashboard, all the services. So once you log into that, right, all the services will be available. If you click the all the services, view all the services, these are the all the services. So what we will need to, so we need to launch the EC2 in the AWS. What we need to do? So we need to launch the EC2 instances. This is the EC2 instance. So this is the service. What is the service, guys? EC2 is the service. Compute is the service. So AWS security, what they are providing the service level agreement, availability, support. Most services are accessible via REST or SOAP API, security, rapid, reliable and redundant, instant scalability, pay-per-use model. So right, yeah, here you see, guys. So AWS global infrastructure, availability zones, regions, and edge locations. So what are the foundation services? Compute, storage, database, networking. So application services, content distribution, messaging, parallel processing, libraries and SDKs, management and administration. So administration console, identity and access, deployment workflow, and monitoring. Okay, so these all are the this is the a cloud computing platform. Cloud computing platform. What are the foundation services? What are the application services? What are the deployment services? What are the foundation services? Foundation services are compute, storage, database, and networking. These all are the foundation services. In the computing, Amazon EC2, auto scaling, S3, EBS, databases RDS, networking VPC. So the main motto is compute services in the first. Then application services, queuing, searching, content delivery, notification, parallel processing, email, libraries, workflows, deployment and automation, monitoring, administration, and identity and access. Okay. AWS services, EC2, S3, RDS, Route 53, front-end, Glacier, DynamoDB, Elastic Cache, these all are the services. You already know the availability zones, edge location, certifications, guys. So what are the certifications? So if you want to write the any certifications, that will be three levels. One is a solution architect, developer, and sysops. So the entry level certification is cloud practitioner. So that you will understand the core features. What is a cloud providers, cloud services, and cloud components. So if you want to get a certification on AWS, so the you can go something like a associate level. AWS certified solution architect associate, AWS certified developer associate, AWS certified sysops administration, and the professional level AWS certified solution architect, AWS certified DevOps engineer. These are the professional certifications. Has understood? So introduction to AWS EC2, benefits of using AWS EC2, Amazon EC2 use cases, AWS EC2 pricing model, AWS instance type, Amazon mission image, selecting EC2 instance, AWS regions, availability zones, and launching Amazon EC2 instance step by step. Guys, Amazon EC2, which is also known as a Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud Services. What is EC2? ECC. What is ECC? E is nothing but elastic. First C is nothing but a compute. Second C is nothing but a cloud. Elastic Compute Cloud provides us resizable computing capacity in Amazon Web Services. It is a simple web service interface allows you to obtain and configure capacity with minimal friction. It provides you with complete control of your computing resources and lets you run Amazon Prevent Computing. EC2 is the core service of the AWS platform and launched in 2006. Launched in 2006. There are virtual servers also called as an instances. We can use these instances pay-per-use. Benefits of EC2: easier and faster, elastic and scalable, highly available, cost effective. So what are those use cases? Application hosting, content delivery, e-commerce, media hosting, web hosting. So we can use it. The pricing model, how we can get the pricing? So we are signed up with the free tier usage, right? But we take as a on-demand, reserved, spot, and charged instances. So AWS instance type, right? So how you can launch the AWS? First, we need an instance type. Instance type is related to RAM and CPU. So that may be a standard, medium, micro, high memory, high CPU, high I/O, cluster computer, cluster GPU instances. These are so T3 medium, T3 large, M3 medium, M3 large, T3 micro, T3 small, T3 medium. So what you will get? You will get the CPU and memory. So if you take as instance type is nothing but a CPU and memory. Okay. So mission image. So server template or a VM image, complete with the pre-installed OS and optional software. AMI can be launched to create instances. It's a variety of pre-built AMIs in the catalog. Okay, so launch an Amazon EC2 instance step by step. Choose the region, choose the availability zone, choose AMI, choose instance type, configure security. Configure security. Okay, so we can launch the AWS EC2 instance. Okay, so now we am in the EC2. If you search the EC2 Elastic Compute Cloud, if you search it, you will get this. You see, this is the service, EC2 service. We can click it. So once you click it, right, it will go to the EC instance and check the instances. Is there any instances are running? No. Launch the instance. How you can launch the instance? First, we need to provide the name. What is that? Double development Linux. What is that? Development environment Linux, guys. So what I'm taking, so I need to provide the, so these are the AMIs, Amazon Mission Image. It's already pre-installed OS. I'm just checking the Amazon, selecting the Amazon. Then, right, instance type. Instance type is nothing but a T2 micro, T2 small, T2 medium. These all are the based on the CPU memory. So key pair. If you want to create a key pair, create a pair. Development environment env. So development env, I need a RSA. So I need a PPK for use the putty. I want to connect from the putty. Yes, it's downloaded. Okay. Then you need to select the networking. Networking we select as a default. Then configure. So we need just 8 GB of RAM. So it's enough. So number of instances you want? Two instances or one instance. So one is enough. Launch is into it. How much time it will take? It will take hardly 1 minute or less than 1 minute because of it's a predefined environment. We are just collecting it keeping it in one place. Okay, so successfully initiated the launch of EC2 instance. So instances. So what are the instances, guys? So these are the instances. Okay. So I have already Docker image. Okay, I stop it. So development. So what is that running instance? So I have already launched the instance. That instance development. What is the name of the instance? Development Linux. What is the every instance? If you launch any instance, it will create a instance ID. Every instance having the instance ID, instance, what is that running? Instance type T2 micro or T2 RAM. So status check is initializing alarms or availability zone where it will be deployed. Right, public DNS, private to public, and where it is disabled, monitored, Docker image. So that key name, and the mission Linux or Windows. Okay. So these are all the details, guys. You will get it here. You will get it. So instance, IP address, so host name, right? Elastic cache, monitoring AMI. So everything will be here, guys, in the details. So monitoring security group. So if you want to modify the security group, so inbound and outbound, you just edit it. Just click it and edit it. Okay. So this is nothing but a EC2 instances. Okay. Once you click right, it will show it. So networking and storage, tags, everything will be displayed here. Okay. Yeah. Now we got this. I want to connect to the server. What is this? So I want to connect to the server. How we can connect the server? I want to connect the server. How we can connect the server? So just so in AWS we call it as a EC2 instance. What we call it as EC2 instance is nothing but a VM. Is nothing but VM. VM is nothing but a virtual machine. What is that? So VM is nothing but a virtual machine. Guys understood? So this is the EC2 instance. How we can connect this EC2 instance? So we deployed this is in the which region? So US region, right? So I want to connect it in my Hyderabad. So how we can connect? So you are connecting through the Windows. You are connecting through the Windows, right? I will tell you. So this is Windows. This is Windows. Windows are the same platform. So this is Linux. Your remote server is Linux, and you are also using Linux. This is also same platform. Okay. So this is the Linux server, but you are using the Windows server. So both are same, both are not same. This is the cross platform. So how we can connect the cross platforms? So this is Linux to Linux, Windows to Windows is very easy. Windows server. So this is Linux server. This is Linux, and this is Linux. This is Windows. Okay, this is Windows. Yeah, so Linux to Linux, we can connect through the SSH protocol, port number 22, secure shell. This is connected through RDP, remote desktop protocol. Okay, so but the cross platform, how we can connect? So we need a third party tool. We need a third party tool which provides the SSH. Who are providing the SSH? Third party tools like MOBA Extreme, MOBA Extreme, Putty, Super Putty, Remote NG, Remote NG, or something like a Git Bash also they are providing Git Bash. Okay, these all are the third party software. So those are provided the SSH. They are provided the SSH. Right. I'm using the Windows. I want to connect the Linux machine. What is that? Putty is the software to connect the Linux server in the Windows machine. To connect the Linux server in the Windows machine. How we can connect it? Get the details, guys. Get the details of the IP address. So details, right? The details we can check it. So public IP, public DNS, take that public DNS or public IP, and go to the SSH and our credentials. Why we need for the authentication? For the authentication purpose, there is a file called as a development.ppk. Okay, so dev environment.ppk, and appearance, I want to change the font size because of we need to show it, right. Yeah, open, accept, right. This is the EC2 iPhone user. What is the default user? What is the default user to connect to the Amazon Linux, Red Hat Linux, or CentOS Linux, or Oracle Linux? Those all are EC2 only. EC2 user. How we can connect, guys? We can connect to EC2 user, then switch to root user, then switch to root user. Why we are not directly connected to the root user? Because the root user is disabled. First, you need to go to the normal user, then you can switch to the root user. Yes, understood? Now you log into this server. Sudo su. Okay, what this is the Linux server. cat/etc red hat hyphen release cat/etc os hyphen release. Okay, Amazon Linux 2023 uses which OS is installed. So Amazon Linux 2023 is installed on this machine. So Amazon Linux 2023 is installed on this machine. Okay, now, so how you are connecting your AWS account, guys? So AWS account, you have a username password. The team will IT team will give you the IP address, will give you the username, credentials, and password. You can connect to that. Then so you can connect to this your development environment. Then you want to how to interact with this Linux. So what is a Linux? So right, I will tell you. Second, I'm opening the PPT again. What is a Linux? So what will you learn today? So what is a Linux? Why use Linux? What does open source mean? Where to download the Linux kernel source, Linux distributions, how to practice the Linux. Okay, what is a Linux? Linux is a family of open source Unix-like operating system based on the Linux kernel. An operating system kernel first released on September 17, 1991. Linus Torvald. Linus is typically packaged into the distribution. Linux is typically packaged into the distribution. Open source. So open source software is a with source code that anyone can inspect, modify, and enhance. So we can access the source code of the Linux OS, allowed to run the programs of any purpose uses, allowed to change the program working procedure, free distribution. So definition, Linux is an open source operating system based on the Unix. It is known as for a security and a flexibility. So created by the Linus Torvald in 1991, the name Linux comes from Linux plus Unix. So he took four letters from his name. First four letters from his name. What is the first four letters? LINU. And last letter from Unix. So Linux came into the picture. Okay. Unix is a powerful multi-user multitasking operating system originally developed in the 1970s at AT&T Labs, which serves as a foundation for many modern operating systems. So Linux versus Unix. Unix is called as a Linux. Unix is a licensed and Linux is open source. So Linux is inspired by the Unix and it is designed to a Unix like it follows many of the same principles and standards, make it compatible with the Unix software and command. Okay, so what are the key features? Source code, open source. Source code is freely available and can be modified. Multi-user. Multi-user can access system resources simultaneously. Multitasking can run multiple tasks simultaneously. Security. Strong security features and regular updates. Portability can run on various hardware platforms. So market demand, job roles. Linux skills is the in demand for roles such as system administration, DevOps engineer, cloud, software developers, network engineers, cybersecurity professionals. Everyone can need to learn the Linux. Industry adoption. Many companies from each tech giants like Google, Facebook, Amazon to the financial institutions and healthcare providers rely on Linux of their IT infrastructure. So recommendation for the begin. Ubuntu is the widely used as an extensive documentation and large community support. CentOS is a version for Red Hat Enterprise Linux, commonly used in enterprise Linux environments only. So what is that? Linux basic commands, creating and managing files directories, user administration, creating standard partition, and file directory package management. Okay. Yeah, of course. So now you understood the Linux. You understood the Linux. So how you can operate the Linux through the commands only. How we can operate the Linux through the commands only. You guys understood? So what is GUI and CLI, guys? What is GUI and CLI? Guys, what is GUI and CLI? Does anyone knows? You can speak it, guys, if anyone knows.
The GUI means graphical user interface, and I don't
Very
know about the CLI.
graphical user interface. So graphical user interface means all Microsoft. What is that? Microsoft operating systems are Operating systems are GUI only. All the operating systems are GUI only. Guys, one second, I need to show something like. Yeah, guys. So you want to learn more on this cloud and cloud and AWS and Linux, right? So I took the sessions in the Blue Technologies. So my YouTube channel is nothing but a Blue Technologies, guys. This is my YouTube channel. Okay, you guys can subscribe it, and so I already gave a sessions to the 360 degrees for the AWS and Linux, guys. So that is, yeah, 360 degrees freshers Linux AWS batch and 360 degrees freshers Linux batch, guys. So I took two sessions for that 360 degrees. You guys can go through this playlist and you guys can watch. So in detailed, so we discussed in AWS, what is AWS, what is Linux, so how we can interact. So if you want to learn AWS DevOps, you guys can use this videos, and you guys can learn AWS, Linux, in-depth knowledge about the, and it's a freeware, guys. You guys can, so it's a freeware. All the list will be available in the playlist, guys. You guys can go through it, and something like AWS DevOps batch, right? So batches are going on. So you guys can use this playlist and learn the AWS cloud. So in depth. Okay. So get what is a Git? Git also we discussed here, guys. Okay, you guys can subscribe it and you guys can watch the videos. Okay, there is a playlist, guys. There is a playlist in the AWS DevOps, the Linux AWS with Linux 360 degrees, guys. Okay, yeah. So what is GUI? What is CLI? Graphical user interface. All Microsoft operating systems are GUI based, right? So it's a how they developed. They developed with the help of images. So it's a GUI. So GUI is very comfortable with the, we can operate it. But CLI, so CLI is nothing but a,
Command line interface.
yes, very good, command line interface. Command line interface. What is this? This is the CLI. What this is, guys? So this is a CLI operating system. These are commands. Everything through how we can interact with this command. You can interact this command through the command. How we can interact with this OS. We can interact this OS through commands only. You can interact with this OS through commands only. Is understood? Yeah. So Linux is a CLI or GUI, guys. Linux is a CLI OS operating system. Linux is a CLI operating system. So why Linux is popular, guys? Linux is popular because of, why Linux is popular? Linux is portable. Linux is a portable. You see, right? While launching the instance, we need 8 GB. 8 GB space is enough to install the OS because of it's a CLI. Because of it's a CLI. Yeah, it's a highly secure also. What is that? Linux is highly secure OS, and CLI and open source, and easy to maintenance, and open source. Open source, guys. Understood? So why Linux is popular? Because of open source. Open source means freely available, free of cost, and source code also available. Source code also available. Is understood? Yeah. Why Linux is popular? So Linux is popular because of it's it's a open source. So it's a open source, right? So you already know, right? How to launch the AWS instance, right? AWS EC2 instance, how to connect the Linux, you already know. So right, yeah. Basic commands, guys. How you can operate with the Linux. So how you can operate with this Linux OS? Basic commands. Linux basic commands. So what are the Linux basic commands, guys? The basic commands. So we'll discuss the Linux basic commands. The basic commands we call it as a file and directory handling tools. File and directory handling tools, guys. So what are those? Yeah. What this is, guys? This is a user prompt. What is this? This is the user prompt, guys. What this is? This is a user prompt. User prompt. So user prompt, guys. So what is this? This is the logged in user as a root user. This is the IP address of the server or a host name. Host name 20 is nothing but a present working a hash is the profile. Hash is the privileged room of a profile, guys. Understood? Yeah. Yeah. So who? So who logged into this server? EC2 user. Who am I? Who? Yeah, I. Who am I? So I logged in as a root user. How many users? So who logged in user? Who am I means who logged in. So who means how many users are connected to this server or machine. So ls. This is the most important command, guys. What is this command? ls command. ls command. It will list the files and directories. It will list the files and directories. Okay. So nothing is there. cd/etc ls. Okay, so these all are the files and directories. These all are the files and directories. If you use the ls is nothing but a list of files and directories. It will show the list of the files and directories. We can use the ls command to list out all the files and directories present in the given directory. Present in the given directory. So if you use the ll command, ll is nothing but a long list. It will show the all the information, the permissions, guys. You see, so how do you figure out if it is a file or directory in the Linux? So in the Windows, we shall so in Windows, so what we call it as so we call it as a so this is the folder. In Windows we call it as a folder. In Linux we call it as a directory. In Linux we call it as a directory. Folder is nothing but a directory in the Linux. You guys remember this one? Okay. Okay, so if you want to check if it is a directory, if it is a folder or not, it is a GUI, we can able to understand. But this is a CLI. How you can figure out if it is a file or directory or a link file? The starting letter D is nothing but a directory. The starting letter D is nothing but a directory. The starting letter hyphen is nothing but a file. The starting letter L is nothing but a link file. Guys, this is a link file. This is a directory, and this is a file. Now you understood how you can figure out if it's a file or directory or a link file. By using ls, we cannot figure it out if it's a file or directory. But by using ls, it will display the all the information, the file permissions, group owner and the group. So what is the size when it was created, right? What the directory name is. So we can check it all the information by using ll command. Ll is nothing but a long list. Or in the ls, you can use the ls hyphen LRT. You can use the ls-lrt command or ll command. Okay, guys, understood? Yes, understood? Yeah. The what is that? Hyphen is nothing but a file. Starting letter hyphen is nothing but a file. Starting letter D is nothing but a directory. Okay. So the starting letter L is nothing but link file. L is nothing but a link file. So directory. Guys, understood? So how you can figure out? So because of it's a CLA, right? So we cannot find the image because of a CLI. Because of a CLA, we cannot find it. Okay. Okay. So now you are in the which directory? Now you are in the which directory? How do you know? For example, in in Windows, you are in the desktop. Under the desktop, 360 degrees. So you are in the 360 degrees. 360 degrees. One second. Yeah, guys. Directory link file. Very good, Nitin. Yes. So how do you figure out you are in the desktop or something like a 360 degrees. But now where you are, in which directory you are, is the black screen. We don't know where you are. So how you can figure out by using the command pwd. Pwd is nothing but a present working directory. Cd. Okay. So cd slash. So this is the Linux file system hierarchy structure. What this is? This is a Linux file system hierarchy structure. This is bin, boot, dev, etc, home, media, mnt, opt, root, sbin, tempo, us server. So as root is the root user. So right, while installing the OS, a default user will be created. That user is root user, and the normal users also there. Normal users Nitin, Hari, Soumya, Vamshi, Rakesh. These all are the normal users. The normal users will be created under the slash home directory. The root user will be created under the slash root directory. Okay, these all are the directories. So what is a bin? Bin contains the commands. What is it? A bin contains the commands. All the commands, whatever we are executing in the shell prompt, right? This is the shell prompt. In this shell, these all are the commands. The commands will be in the bin and sbin directory. cd slash sbin. Okay, cd slash sbin. These all are the. This is also command. These commands will be available under the sbin and bin. Okay, now you got it. Okay. Yeah. So how you create a directory? Now you go, now you understand where you are. So you are under the root directory. So how you can create a directory? How you can create a folder in the Windows? Just right click new folder, new folder, or something like a directory. What is this? This is a directory. Okay, for example, this is the directory created. But I want to create a directory in the Linux machine. What is the command? You can use the mkdir. What is the command? Mkdir is the command. You can create the directory. What is that? 360 degree. Okay. So cd 360 degrees. Yeah. So where you are, so in PWD, you are under the root. Under the root, there is a directory 360 degrees directory. Okay. Mm, yeah. So I want to create a multiple directories. mkdir, class 1, class 2, class 3. Right. So I created a 3 directories at a time by using space. mkdir class 1, class 2, class. I want to create a weeks, 52 weeks. mkdir. What is that? Week hyphen open braces 1 dot 52. In here, how many weeks, guys? 52 weeks, right? I want to create a 52 weeks within one command. You see, guys? So how many weeks created? The directories are created. So how many? 1 to 52 directories are created within one command. Within one command. I want to create a directory. Day, 30 days, for example. You can use day 1 to 30. Right, guys? LS. Yeah, it's created day 30. Guys, now you understood how to create a directory. Next, CD. CD is nothing but a change directory. What is that? CD is nothing but a change directory. So, CD directory name. I want to go to 360 degrees directory. So, yeah. So, CD change directory. CD change directory. I want to create another directory in this directory. mkdir. mkdir class 1 or workshop 1. So again, I'm going to workshop directory. Then I'm creating workshop 2 cd. I'm going to again workshop 2. So mkdir workshop 3. Again, I'm going to workshop 3. So mkdir workshop 4. Sorry, 4 cd workshop 4. Okay, where I am? I am in the root. Under the root, there is a 360 degrees. Under the 360, there is a workshop. Under the workshop, there is a workshop 2. Under the workshop 2, there is a workshop 3. Under the workshop, there is a workshop 4. Under the workshop, there is a workshop 4. Right. And now you are in the which directory? So, for example, yeah. So you are in this Terraform. Under the Terraform DSP test LSP. Under the test LSP, something like a new directory. Under the directory, so there is a directory. Under the directory, we created a new directory. Under this directory, you are going to. So now you are in the which directory? Under C users, Hari, OneDrive, desktop, AWS, Terraform, DevOps, DSP test, new folder, right? So I want to go back. How you can go back? By using back button, back button, back button, back button, right? But in the Linux, how we can go back one step? So cd dot dot. It will go to one step back. Again, I'm going to workshop. So again, pwd cd dot dot space slash dot dot cd dot dot slash dot dot. It will go to two steps back. Cd workshop 3 and workshop 4. cd dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot. So it will go to the three steps back. pwd. So root to 360-degree workshop. Right. So if you use the cd workshop 2, workshop 1 and workshop 4. Okay. So now you are in the which directory? Under the root, there is a 360. Under the 360, there is a workshop 1. Under the workshop 1, there is a workshop 2. Under the workshop 2, there is a workshop 3. Under the workshop 3, there is a workshop 4 directory. So now, if you use the cd hyphen, it go back to the last working directory. It go back to the last working directory where you are before you are in the workshop 1. If you use the cd hyphen. Okay. Again, I want to go cd slash workshop 2, workshop 4. Okay. Where I am under the this workshop 4. So if you enter the cd, just enter the cd, it will directly go to the home directory. It will directly go to the home. It will go to the get user home directory. User home directory if you press the cd command. So if you press the cd command, You can directly go to the this, right? Now you understood the, so now you understood the file and directory handling tools. So other text processing tools. I want to open the text. I want to modify the text. I want to read the text. Right. So how we can read the text? How we can modify the text? So you can use so file and text processing tools. What are those guys? File and text processing tools. So what are the file and text processing tools, guys? The file and text processing tools are three. One is touch. The second one is cat. The third one is VA or VAE. So what is a touch? Touch is nothing but a we can create the we can create the file without data. Without data. So cat is nothing but a we can read the content of the given documents. Okay. So VIVAM. So we can create a file, modify file, and read file. Can read the file. Guide. So what is the syntax for syntax is touch file name. What is that? Touch file name. So this is most important, guys. Guys. So this is a most important touch file name. So how you can create the touch? Example, something like touch array.txt. Okay. So what is this? Read the file. We can read the file. How you can read the file, guys? So you can read the file, right? Just click it. It will read it in the Windows. But so everything through commands only, right? Syntax cat file name. Cat file name, guys. So what is this example? Example is cat file name. What is that? Array.txt. Array.txt. So VI, VAM, and so VA. So VA is nothing but a visual editor. Visual editor improved. You guys can what you can do. GitHub.com, right? So you guys go to this DevOps. There is a Linux material in this. What this is Linux material. You guys click it and download it. Okay, you guys can download it. So the material Linux yeah. Yes. So this is the file system hierarchy. You guys can later you guys can watch this one. Material. Yep, guys. These are the commands. How we can practice the commands. You guys can practice these commands. Okay. So touch cat VI. Touch. So create the file without data. Read the file and VA and VA editor. So VA is nothing but a visual display editor. VAM is nothing but a visual display editor improved. This is the command mode editor for files. Other editors in the Linux. Okay. It has three modes. So what are those mode? Command mode, insert mode, and execution mode. Command mode, insert mode, and execution mode. While using the cat, we cannot modify the file. We just read the file. So while using the touch, we cannot write the data. How we can write the data? How we can insert the data by using VA and VA. So this is the most important, guys. So in the real time, every day, so this command will use it. So if you want to modify the file in the Linux, we can use the VA command. So, okay, so VI file name. So once you enter into it, it will go to the command mode. So in the command mode, if you command mode, we cannot enter the data. We cannot add the data. In which which mode we can add the data. In the insert mode, we can add the data AEIOU. Okay. So from insert mode, once you add the data, you cannot go to the execution mode because of it's not possible. Execution mode, we can need to save the file. So here we cannot add the data. In the insert mode, we can add the data. So if you want to save this data, we cannot directly go from insert mode to execution mode. So we can directly back from insert mode to command mode by using the by pressing the keyboard left top corner there is a escape button. You just click the escape button. So then so it will go to the command mode again. So you need to go from command mode to execution mode. Shift plus colon you can use. This is the execution mode. It is used to create or read the file. What are the options we can use it? I is nothing but insert it begin the insert mode at the cursor position. Okay. Command mode, what we can do? So go to the beginning. GZ, go to the beginning of the line, ending of the line. Okay. Move the cursor word by word, letter by letter. Okay. So Y by copy a line, NY by number of lines and paste it and delete it. DD is nothing but a delete. NDD is nothing but a, we need to delete 5 lines. You can use 5DD to delete the 5 lines. Search the file, search the word in the file. Okay, in the extended mode, so we want to save the file. How to save the file? Escape plus WQ, save the changes, quit the changes, save and quit the changes, save forcefully, save quit forcefully. Right? Save quit. We need to give the password, set numbers, line numbers, remove the line numbers. Okay, we can use this VI for creating the file and thing. What is the syntax? Syntax of this file is VI file name. What is that? So VI file name. What is the example? Example is so VI array.txt for example. Okay. So it has three modes, guys. It has three modes. So one is a command mode. The second one is insert mode, and the third one is what is the third one, guys? Extended mode or execution mode. Extended mode or extended mode or insert mode. Now you understood that extended mode and insert mode. I will tell you an example. ls there is no hurry.txt, vi hurry.txt. Okay, this is the file. So now I am in the which mode, guys? Now I am in the which mode? Command mode. So once you enter, right, it is in the command mode. You want to go to from command mode to insert mode because of if you want to add anything, so you need to go to the command mode, insert mode. Or you can go by in the keyboard by press insert. Now you see, so in the below it is an insert. Now you can add the file. This is the first line. This is the second line. This is the third line. This is the fourth line, and this is the fifth line. This is sixth line. Okay, so I added some data. Now I am in the insert mode. I want to save this file. So I want to save this file. So again we need to. So I am unable to go from directly insert mode to execution mode. Directly you need to go back to the command mode by pressing the escape and then shift colon. It will go to the execution. Okay. So by press escape now I am in the insert mode. I want to go to the back to command mode. What is the option? In the keyboard left corner there is escape button. You can click that escape button. Once you click the escape button, right? Now you are in the command mode. So from command mode to execution mode, you want to save the file. So command mode to insert mode, you want to go to the command mode to insert mode. You can press the shift colon in the keyboard. Now you are in the extended mode or execution mode. You want to save the file. Right and quit is forcefully. W WQ right quit forcefully. So right, let's see the content of the file array.txt. How to read? By using cat. Okay, cat by using cat. So for example, cat slash it cat val log message cat var log message. Okay, what this is cd var log dnf log less cat dnf log. You see, guys, a file contains a three or four pages, but it displayed in the only one page that will fit it in the screen. But and this is the last page. This is the last page. I want to go through from starting first page from the first page. So how we can see the first 10 lines, 20 lines, 30 lines, and how we can see the file last 10 lines, 20 lines, 30 lines. How we can see the file page by page or line by line, right? So by use you see cd, okay, head dnf dot log cd var head var log dnf log. Okay, so this is the log. It will display only the top 10 lines. If you use the tail, if you use the tail, it will display last 10 lines. Last 10 lines. If you use the less var log dnf log. You see, right? So you see, so I'm pressing the page bar. It will show the page by page. So I'm hitting the enter button. It will be showing line by line. It will be showing line by line. If you execute the enter line, it will display line by line. If you execute the space bar, it will display page by page. Okay, but we don't know how much percentage is completed. Okay, so if you want to see that percentage, the command you can use more. What is the command, guys? You see the percentage, right? So if I press the space bar, it will open the page by page. It will open the page by page as of now. 32% is completed, 49, 52. So right, 66, 70, 80, 100% is completed. Understood, guys? So that is nothing but a head, tail, grep. So grep is nothing but a you want to search anything from the error. You want to search it a error. Grep hyphen I error error on var log dnf dot log. You see? So if you want to search the logs, you guys, this command will help you. This command will help you. Okay. Yeah. So copy command. Copy a file from one location to another location. So array.txt to array1.txt. So what it will create? It's created a new file with the old content. So you want to move it to so different folder also. Okay. So if you want to move the directories week 1 to /10. So this is the omitting, guys. How we can do by using recursive method hyphen r. Okay. So move. We want to rename the file. Move array.txt as a 360 360.txt. It's moved, guys. It moved from array.txt to 360.txt. Move is nothing but a rename the file. and move the file from one location to another location, I'm moving it to temp. Okay, so next hide and unhide. So we can hide and unhide the file also. Move array 1.txt before destination. You can give the dot. Okay, you see array 1.txt. No, I'm not seeing. How you can see the hidden files? ls hyphen la is the option. ls hyphen la is the option. It will show the hidden files also. Hidden means so you see array.txt. It is in now it is in hiding state. I want to so unhide this. So move now before source we need to keep the dot array 1.txt then array 1.txt. Okay, you see now it is hide to unhide. You change it to hide and unhide. RM. So you want to delete the file RM class 1. Okay, so RM class 1 it cannot remove. It is a directory. What we need to use? We need to use the hyphen R symbol. It will ask you want to delete it or I don't want to ask this. So you can use rm r hyphen. You can use the rm hyphen rf class 2. You see, it will not ask that. So if you want to delete a particular file, it's rm hyphen rf day hyphen. So star means everything. I don't want to delete everything. I just want to delete 10 to 19 out. Okay, it's deleted at 10 to 19. I want to star means everything. If you use the star, everything it will delete after day. I want to delete everything from here. And dot star, you see, everything is deleted. So star is nothing but a everything. What is that, guys? Star is nothing but a everything. Understood? Guys, understood? Yep, please. So MKDIR stands for make a directory. MKDIR stands for make a directory. Nitin, understood? Nitin, understood? MKDIR for make a directory. Yes, guys. Okay. Now, so final part. So how we can deploy the how we can deploy a application, guys? How we can deploy application in our development environment? What is that, guys? Apache and Tomcat deployment. So Tomcat Apache deployment, right? What is Apache and Tomcat? So what is Apache and Tomcat, guys? What is Apache and Tomcat? So what is Apache and Tomcat? So Apache and Tomcat is the web servers. Okay. So Apache and Tomcat are the web servers to deploy our code in the Apache Tomcat web servers. Right. So what is Apache? Apache HTTPD server. Apache is the HTTPD server. So commonly we call it as Apache is a web server. Is a web server developed by the Apache Software Foundation. Apache Software Foundation. Server tools. Yep. Web servers. So Apache is the HTTP web server commonly used as a Apache. It is a web server developed by the Apache Software Foundation. Okay. So serves a static content. So this server serves a static content. So what is the static content, guys? We can deploy these. We can deploy which files? HTML, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, and videos. Images and videos. So it handles the HTTP. It handles the HTTP requests and responses. It handles the HTTP request and the response. Okay. So what is this? How we can deploy? So we need to deploy it in the Linux, right? How we can deploy? First, we need to install the install httpd -y. You can install the Apache server. Then, so the HTTP service. So package name is install. Package name is httpd. So service name also httpd and port 84 and the document root is var www html. So here you can deploy your application. Okay. So how you can install document root var www html and port equal to 80, service equal to httpd, package equal to httpd. How you can install this package? Install httpd. Right. Yes. Once it is installed, right, you need to run the systemctl status httpd. Okay. Systemctl start httpd. Okay. This is the package you need to start it. So where we can deploy our application, I will show you what this is. Yum install httpd. Okay, it will install the packages, Apache packages. Okay, software installation is completed. So what is the document root? Savar www html. Yes, this is the path. Okay, this is the path. You need to start the web server, Apache web server, systemctl status httpd. You check the service status. Service status is inactive. I want to start the service. How to start? By using start command. Okay. Again check status. Yeah, you see active running. Okay, it is running now. Now you can deploy your application. Okay, for example, index dot html. We index dot html. Okay, so -i html h1 tag. This is 360-degree Linux with the AWS workshop. Close it to closing the HTML. Let's see. Okay. WQ. Okay, you need to restart the system once you deploy it, right? Okay. Now let's check it in the web. So you deployed the application. So right, you deployed the application. What is the public IP? Public IP of the server is this one, right? Next, I need to go to the right HTTP colon double slash IP address colon 80. I think you need to enable the security group. Yeah. So once I need to go to the security group, security group. So in inbound, right? Edit inbound rules. So here only enable 22. So if you want to enable the all TCP, save the rules. Okay. Let's try. Yeah. You see the website is opened. The website is slash this slash index.html. You see? So index.html. This is the 360-degree Linux with the AWS Workshop. This is the 360 with the AWS Workshop. This is the website. We deployed the website. Okay, if you want to modify this website, how you can modify this website? Or you want to deploy with the new code? Search educate. Yeah, this is the website, guys. Educate. This is the content controls. Oh, I want to. Yes. Copy. In the downloads, I will paste it. Replace with the destination. Okay. So educate. Okay, educate is there. Now I want to connect with this server. I want to connect with this server. WinSCP. WinSCP, we can connect this server. Okay. Do this way we can connect this server. So this is the host name. What is the host name? IP address of the server. Yeah, EC2 instances. The IP address security details. This is the public IP address. I want to connect this way. We can use public DNS. This is the public DNS port 22. What is the username? EC2 icon user. Or we can advance, SSH or private key. Downloads, this development. Okay, connect. I'm connecting this. Through SSH, we cannot move the file. We cannot copy the file. So how we can copy the file by using WinSCP is the WinSCP is the tool. We can connect from Linux to Windows, Windows to Linux, and we can copy the files. So for example, so where I want to copy it, first I want to copy it to EC2 user, EC2 user. I'm copying in the EC2 user guys. Okay, and copy it in the EC2 user. I will move from EC2 to that path. No worries. Guys, understood how we can move, copy? Yeah, what is the HTTPD? Who is asking it now? So HTTPD is nothing but the package of the Apache web server. So I already told you, right? What is the package of Apache web server? The package is HTTPD. Okay, package name they call it as Apache is nothing but a package name. So that software name is HTTPD. So service name also they call it as a HTTPD. HTTPD is nothing but a Apache. Port number 80. So the document root is var www.html. You guys can develop the code and deploy it under the var www.html. So what this is HTML code. Right, I'm deploying a one website. You can see it. So meanwhile, you guys can subscribe the channel. You will get the notifications, guys. Linux or workshop anywhere. So right, this is in the cd slash home. So what this is pwd cd slash home ec2 user. Then copy this move etiquette to where where etiquette star to where www.html. Star means all the files will copy to. Okay. Yeah. Now let's check cd where www.html. Okay. So the code will be in this. This is your deployment code. So in educate we have a code. Okay. So in this, so we are deployed this code. Now let's check a restart. We need to restart. Restart systemctl. Systemctl. Why guys? It is very slow. Network, huh? Yeah, right. Okay. Systemctl restart HTTP. Okay, restart HTTP. I restarted the server. Where it is? Okay, just I'm refreshing it. You see? So how I am deployed the website? Guys, understood how I deployed the website? So for example, this is the educate website. Okay, so this is the educate website. I deployed this website. So where the code I kept it in the okay where I kept it. So I kept it in the path. What is the path? Var www.html in the var html. So about HTML course, HTML images, so everything CSS, online JPEG, all the content will be. So all the code will be deployed under the var www.html. Then I restarted the service. So then, so before it was a 360-degree class website. Now it is this website, educate website. Now this is the website of the educate. I understood. If you go to the closes, it will go about. So this is the about. Okay. So about you understood, right? So this is the website. How you deploy the Apache website. Now I will show how to deploy the Tomcat website. Okay. CD enter. So m install. So we need to install the Java. M install. Install Java. Okay. So why, if you want to deploy a Tomcat application, you deploy we want to apply a Java application, we need a Java need to install, and Tomcat also need to install. But the Tomcat is the third party software. It's not a system related software. So we can download it from the web. Tomcat 9 download. What is that? Tomcat 9 download. Tomcat 9. So tar.gz. Well, it's not. Tomcat download. So what is that, guys? Tomcat download. This is the official website for the Tomcat. You guys can download 10 now. 10. Yeah. So it is downloading. Now copy link address. And if you want to download it here, right? So what is that? CD opt ls wget install. I'm downloading from the web. ls yes tar xpf apache. Okay, I extracted this file. Move apache tomcat as a tomcat. Now you see, right? rm rf apache. Okay, now we are in the opt. Where you are? You are in the opt. So pwd, then cd tomcat. You need to go to the tomcat. Then you see the file. So this is the third party software. We are not installing through yum. So right, just downloaded the binary and we just extracted and we can use it. CD bin. If you go to the CD bin, you see the start.sh, startup.sh, shutdown.sh, ocean.sh. Okay. So I want to start the Tomcat, right? So CD, where we can deploy the code, we can deploy the code in the web apps folder. So where we can deploy the code in the Tomcat. What is the document path? opt Tomcat web apps. So CD web apps. Okay. So here you can deploy your code, right? You already know. So I want to deploy a sample lab 68 dot var file. So simple var file, guys. You guys just download this file, copy link address. Just you can download it in the PWD where you are. So wget yeah, what this is, guys? Lab 6a dot you see, lab 6a dot is there. So you deployed this var file. Now let's check it. Now let's check it. You need to start the Tomcat. So how you can start cd dot. So where the startup files are there, bin cd bin folder. You need to go to the bin and start dot slash sh startup dot sh. Right? It started. Tomcat is started. How you can check? ps hyphen ef pipe grep hyphen I Tomcat or Java. You see, guys? So Tomcat is running Java. Tomcat and Java is running. This is the Tomcat. Okay. Now let's see. So here, go to 8080 is the port for the Tomcat. You see? So Tomcat is installed. Apache Tomcat is installed, and you need to go to lab lab 6 here. You see, guys, this is the Java website. So input parameter, this is the page. We are giving the parameters. So we are giving this input parameters. Okay, classify. So I think we need to provide some rules. Okay. So this is the a Java website. This is the Java a Tomcat website. Guys understood? So this is the a Tomcat website. Guys understood how you can deploy the Apache and Tomcat websites? This is the way we can deploy. Okay. Apache. What is Tomcat? So what is Tomcat, guys? What is Tomcat? Guys, tell me what is Tomcat? Why guys are not responding, guys? When you joined a company, every day you need to go to the stand up. You need to showcase your work. What is the work status you have done? So you need to inform to your lead. Apache Tomcat is a application server. Application server developed by the Apache software. Apache Software Foundation. This was also developed by the Apache Software Foundation. Okay, it is specifically designed to run Java-based Java-based web application. Java-based web application. Guys, understood? So, so what we can implement this here? Implements Java servlets, JSP, right? And WebSocket.
Yeah,
Webs-
scalable and flexible architecture.
Yes, yes, very good. Right. Use it to deploy applications. Use it to deploy application packaged as where. Where is nothing but a web application. Web application archive. Web application archive files. Right. And works works as Java web container. It works as a Java web container executing server side code. Executing the server side code. Guys, understood? What is Tomcat? So when use the Tomcat, guys? When to use Tomcat? So guys, when to use that is Tomcat? So deploying Java-based web applications. Deploying Java based web applications. Okay, okay. Running Spring Boot, JSP, or servlet applications. Servlet, servlet based apps, right? So integrating with Apache or other web server for full stack deployment, right? So full stack deployment. Understood? Full stack deployment. Full stack deployment. Guys, understood? Yes. So Tomcat is an application server for Java web app. What is the one thing? Guys, what is Tomcat? Tomcat is for Nice. Tomcat is for application server. Tomcat is for application server for Java, Java web apps. Okay, guys, understood? Guys, hello. So Apache can access the single IP address or multi IP address. Single IP address only. So Nitin, single IP address only. I stopped the Apache Tom that HTTPD. Okay. So so then one IP address we can multiple we can deploy the multiple websites in one server, something like one IP address. So with different port numbers, with the different port numbers. I can show you. So this is the Java, right? And say which port number, the same port number with the Apache is running, right? Apache is running. You see? So how many websites are running in one server with one IP address? So with one IP address, so we can run the multiple websites. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks. So you guys are understood, right? Guys, speak out. Nitin, you guys are speak out. Did you understand how real time works? Abhijit, Anil, Arvind, Sirisha, Sweta, Vamshi, Varaprasad. No one talking, huh? Guys, so when you join the company, right, you need to talk with your team every day. So there will be conducting a stand-up calls. On that stand-up calls, you need to showcase your work. Something like I am deploying this one, I am facing some challenges. So if you want to get the team, so if you want to get the some you are facing some challenges, you need to get the some input from the your lead or something like. So you need to talk, right, guys. Communication is more important than work. Speak out, guys. Are you able to understand or not?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Am I able to understand?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So I will be uploading this in the that YouTube channel, guys, and I will share the link to Soumya or Vamshi. They will ping to you. They will share it to you. Okay, guys. Yep, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. So now you understand the how AWS Linux and the deployment Apache and Tomcat installation, right? Yep. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.